I have a cold, so I won't be like Patch and kind of, I have a tendency to get a little bit teary-eyed sometimes, but it's the allergies usually. Shantell, I'm truly honored to be introducing you tonight. Thank you for asking me to do this. I've known Shantell for approximately 17 years and consider her a very good friend. At this time, I'd like to welcome all of her family and friends who could be here tonight, and there are a lot of them. I know how important you all are to her, and I am so impressed how Shanny continues to be a great granddaughter, daughter, friend, mom, sister, aunt, teacher, and coach, while still finding time to somehow keep Patch in line too. Shantell and I experienced a lot of ups and downs, mostly ups, during her time at MSUB, but I knew I could always count on her both on and off the court, and I know I can still count on her today. Our relationship started many years ago, first as opponents. I was the head coach at West High, and I think she was a sophomore guard at CMR. Very few players competed hard against our team back there. We had really good players. That made me look like a really good coach. It's kind of the same thing. But she played extremely well. She never backed down to them, and she just about ruined our perfect season that year at the state championship game. She was the best player on the court that day. We finally woke up in the third quarter and ended up winning, but I knew right then that she would be a future college basketball star. A couple of years passed. I was now at MSUB, and I think this is how it went, but it's something like I had the office downstairs, and she stuck her head in one day in the spring, I think of her senior year. I'd heard she was going to go Division I track, and I asked her, first of all, like, what are you doing here, and what do you want to do? And she just said, hey, I want to play for you. I was like, well, heck, that's great. Let's get this thing done. My God, we just gotta, I wish recruiting was like that now. I spend months and years, and then I get my heart broken, and I was just like, okay, man, it was just done, okay? Well, she had a very solid freshman year on the court, but she was, so homesick. I almost lost her at the end of her freshman year. I still remember driving to her house over Easter break, having to talk to her and her folks. I really thought when I left the house that day that she wasn't coming back, but luckily she stayed. Shantell's basketball resume is impressive to say the least. Some of her honors and stats still astound me. Well, maybe not her field goal percentage, though. No. Just kidding. She played in both the Heartland and the GNAC conferences. She played multiple guard positions as a freshman and eventually became a full-time point guard. In my opinion, she revolutionized the game a lot like Magic Johnson did in the NBA. She was bigger and stronger than players she played against at her position, but most of the time she was as fast or faster too. We won a bunch of games while she was here. She was part of a league championship team and a league tournament championship team. We won a GNAC quarterfinal playoff game the first time that they went to a playoff format. That was during her first senior year. I think actually that was during her second senior year because of the injury. And she played in an NCAA regional tourney. She's the only player in the history of our school to post a double figure for steals in a single game with 10. That record still stands. Will be a very tough one to ever surpass. A little side note there. In 18 of our 21 games this season, our entire team has not had 10 or more steals in a given game. She earned all conference honors 3 times and deserved a 4th in my mind. She was a multi-year captain and an honor student, multiple years. She flirted with triple doubles many times. We hear that all the time now. In a single game, she had 12 points, 12 assists, and 9 rebounds. In another game, she had 11 points, 11 rebounds, and 9 assists. One time, she came really close to double figures in turnovers, but we won't go there. I took her out and saved it. I didn't want a triple-double that way. During her career, she led the conference in assists, steals, and assist-turnover ratio at least once. She even ranked 6th overall in the conference one year in blocks. And registered over 100 defensive rebounds multiple times. Not bad for a point guard. I also might add, Shantell never blocked out once in her life in a game, but wow, she would really hunt that ball and rebound for you. She played with an edge and a passion that very few people have. She loved to compete and defend. She would guard anyone, anytime, anywhere. Shantell would go trap the ball just out of the blue. She was a ball hawk, and her and I had many discussions that would go like this in my office. Hey, Shan, I really like how aggressive you're being out there, but do you think you could trap within the scheme of our defense and whether we are calling for the trap or not? And then I would point to a time where, because she had left her player, her player got an open shot. She would always say, yep, I got it. Then in the next game, she would just start doing her thing again. However, as I got older and smarter, I just said, what the hell? She just got us 3 steals and 7 points while only giving up 2 points. I literally saw opponents give her the ball as she intimidated them into mistakes. She was also amazing in transition. She could pass the ball up the court to either side on a string, and she loved to play fast. I still remember one of her best games ever was early in her first senior year. We played a very good team from Colorado who was considered a team, the favorite in their league. We beat them handily that night and scored close to 100 points. She had 11 assists, but was the type of pace and pass which impressed me the most that day. She was hungry and in the best shape of her life, and I think she would have been an All-American that season if not for her ACL injury that occurred the following week. Her ACL injury was tough on everyone. It happened very late in the game when she was going for a pass that really only she could get. It was difficult because she had worked so hard for her senior year. It then took time for her to decide whether to take a medical red shirt or not, and then it took her more time to get back into shape and get her passion back, but she eventually found it. I think she would agree she never quite got back to the level she was prior to her injury, but she peaked down the stretch in her final season and really helped our team reach the GNAC semifinals. We were out of it at mid-season that year, but then got hot and won a lot of close games late to make the tourney. I can remember her getting a big steal to secure a win in a triple overtime game over NNU. She played almost 50 minutes that night. She also got the ball up the court in a play that we call victory, that we still run today in practice with no defense, and it never works. But that day, she hit Mandy, and Mandy made a 25-footer at the buzzer to beat a good St. Martin's team by 1. I think it was that play. I'm going to throw that in because it sounds like the coach did something that way, but really it was Shantell. We also had a big late upset win over SPU that year by 3, and then a 2-point quarterfinal playoff victory that put us into the semis. I loved coaching her and watching her compete. I asked her if there were some teammates that she would let me contact to get some comments from them. And there were 3 of them that she mentioned, and all of them, I think, responded to me. First is from Jatan Metters Ailes, and this is from Jatan. I think one of the most important things that you could say about Shan was that you were dang glad she was on your team and not your opponent. I had the opportunity to play against Shan in high school, and I can tell you from firsthand experience, I much preferred her on my team when we got to college. When she was in her element, there wasn't much she couldn't do, especially on the defensive end. Great player, great friend, great person. The other thing that always sticks out with Shan was her family support. They never missed a game, no matter how bad the roads were, and Grandpa Dick was her biggest fan. He always had a smile, a hug, and a go kick their butts pep talk for us. Such a great man and family, and blessed to have known him and be a teammate of Shan's. Next is from Mandy Jacobs Johnson, who couldn't be here tonight because she's coaching. Shani was an absolute blast to play with. In a league of her own, it really was an honor to share the court with her. Shantell was absolutely ruthless on the defensive end, piling up steal after steal, and sending an occasional block shot into the bleachers. She could make other teams look flat silly. And if she fouled hard. I loved that about her. My most memorable game she played was definitely against NNU when she had her record 10 steals. Offensively, she threaded passes to people that didn't even know they were open, and she made us better players because of it. When Shani went down with her ACL tear, I knew in my gut the moment that it happened it was bad. Having experienced the same injury, I will never forget how sad it was for her and our team. Her battle back to play an unplanned final season says so much about the competitor she was. Although I remember many moments from the court, the best memories we made as teammates came from building lifelong friendships. Shantell was homesick our freshman year. She stayed in my dorm room for probably the first 3 months of school, even though we each had our own room. On road trips, we shared each other's families. I will forever be grateful for the Marquis family for treating me like one of their own when we were away from home. And of course, for bringing your grandpa to all of the games. Thank you for sharing Shantell's biggest fan with us. I can picture him beaming with pride from above, knowing his Shani is part of the Hall of Fame like he always knew she was. As time moves on, we celebrate each other's accomplishments. They have changed a bit, from made baskets and defensive stops to celebrating new additions to families, career accomplishments, and coaching achievements. Yet we remain thankful that MSUB and Coach Woodin brought us together. Congrats, Shani, on your well-deserved Hall of Fame induction. And last, from teammate Bobby Knutson. Shantell was a fifth-year senior when I came in and really took me under her wing. She never made me feel like I didn't deserve to play. She was going through her knee rehab and student teaching the first semester I came in, so she wasn't able to make each practice or open gym. I was playing like a high schooler until the day she could make it to open gym. I remember I was running the point guard position, and I threw a long cross-court pass. Shan was not shy to say in front of everyone how bad and awful of a pass that was. And for those that know Shantell, you know she wasn't quiet about it. Never before had I played with someone who wasn't afraid to constructively criticize me, knowing she was only trying to make me a better player. It might seem like something simple, but it stuck with me. I got better from it. From then on, I kept my eyes open and learned from her. I took leadership qualities I saw in her and used them throughout my next 3 years at MSUB. She was a big reason why I came to have the success I did at MSUB. In closing, thank you, Shantell. It's with great pride and joy I present Shantell Marquis Wirtzberger to you for induction into the Hall of Fame. Congrats.
I also have allergies. Thank you, Kevin Woodin and the MSU Billings Athletic Hall of Fame Committee. It truly is an honor to be here tonight. Not only being inducted to the MSUB Hall of Fame, of such a great honor, it's such a privilege to be surrounded by a great group of people. I want to congratulate the other nominees. I am honored to be recognized with them here tonight. Throughout my career at MSU Billings, there have been a number of people who have positively influenced me, both academically and professionally. And this is directly attributed to the faculty, the staff, and the students here at MSU Billings. Of those people, there are a few I'd like to acknowledge. The first,
You got an allergic.
as many of you heard tonight, my grandfather cannot be here, but he would be up here with me tonight if he could. He was my biggest fan. He, from the day I started playing basketball, has never missed a game. I mean, he took me to tournaments when my parents couldn't. He drove me everywhere. I still firmly believe that I was his favorite because we spent so much time together in road trips, but he would be happy, and he would be cheersing and probably telling inappropriate jokes, which most of you have heard if you've come to the games. But he was a great man and a great supporter of MSUB. As a matter of fact, in their garage, my grandparents' garage, is our giant poster that had conned out of Kevin Woodin out of the MSUB lobby, and it still hangs up.
Isn't there another one somewhere?
I think it's in the baseball house somewhere. Next, I would like to thank our current AD, Krista Montague, and the rest of the athletic department. I would also like to thank my coaches, Kevin Woodin and Natalie Wirtzberger. They taught me and my teammates what it means to work hard and to never give up. They showed us how to fight our way to the top and get the recognition that we deserved. Lastly, I would like to thank a former Yellow Jacket, Lisa Jellum. Kevin Woodin put me in a position to become a point guard after my freshman year, and I thought, you want me to handle a ball? Oh gosh, that's scary. Lisa spent countless hours, nights, mornings, running me through drills, and I still remember this day. She had these chairs and cones set up, and I got a little frustrated at the end of the drill, and I threw the ball, and it came back, and I kicked it, and it came back, and I kicked it again, and I was like, I'm done, I can't, I'm not doing it, and she's like, no, that's good, you're frustrated, let's keep going. I was like, oh gosh, but with her determination, she 100% developed my game and helped me step out of my comfort zone and helped me develop the player that I became at MSU Billings. To my teammates, wow. When I arrived at MSU Billings, I had finally found a group of girls who was just as passionate about the game as I was. The hard work ethic, competitiveness, desire, drive was what this group possessed and made every practice and game an honor to be a part of. I had the opportunity to play with some amazing players, and together we accomplished great things, and I would never be standing up here without them. Of the 3 people that I gave to reach out to Kevin Woodin, those are my 3 closest friends from my Yellow Jacket family. Jet and I go way back from high school basketball, and then coming to college playing with each other, and then we both end up marrying baseball players, so we must have done something right. Mandy Jacobs, yes, I hate to admit that I lived in her dorm room the first 3 months of college, but even though I had a single, it's just what I was a little homesick, just a little, but her family was amazing, and I would like to extend a thank you out to them. And Bobby Knudsen, wow, what a joy. I remember after tearing my ACL my senior year, I was like, well, this was it. This is how the book's chapter ends, gonna graduate, we'll move on. And then I knew if I didn't come back, I would regret it. So, Bobby was a freshman when I took a red shirt my 5th year senior, and I was amazed at her competitiveness and her athletic ability. And I thought, dang, this girl's gonna do great things for this program. It kind of made me a little jealous because I wish she would have been at the beginning of our group. I wish she would have came in with our age, but that or I wish I would have been younger. Either way, I wish she could have played more years with us. She was hands down the best player that I have had the privilege of playing with. And I'm a little sad to say that I only got 1 year and not even my best year. But it was an honor to play with you, Bobby. It's not every day you get to play with an All-American. Lastly, I would like to thank my family and parents who are here with me tonight, and for everything that they have done for me. I am lucky enough to have parents who supported me in school and athletics. All my life, my parents instilled the importance of good grades and the pursuit of college. They showed me what it was like to work hard every day and to make no sacrifices, but for those to better your children. They always wanted me to accomplish more than they did and reach my full potential. I am where I am today because of my family. My parents and grandparents never missed a game. In my 5 years at MSU Billings, no matter how bad the roads were, if we played on a Thursday, they drove down Thursday, and they drove back Thursday night to go to work Friday morning. And then they'd come back on Saturday. So I was very, very privileged to have parents that put in that dedication and time. The last person I would like to thank is my wonderfully handsome husband back there. My freshman year, I was gonna call it quits, as many of you know from Kevin's speech. After Easter break, he came back and visited with me, and I gave it one more shot. I think we had went to a rodeo, and this my entire freshman year, I heard this story of this baseball house. It was a lot of fun for extracurricular activities. And so one night I decided to give it a whirl with Jet. And well, the rest is history, because that was the night that I met my husband, and 12 years later we're still together, married for 7, have 3 wonderful children, and I couldn't be more happy to be sharing this moment with them. Once again, it's truly an honor to be sharing this with all of you here tonight.